The history of crossovers cannot be written without mentioning a certain badge. The Honda CR-V is the great granddaddy of crossovers, as it helped popularize the segment when it was launched back in the 90s. Now in its 6th generation, it is bigger, it's more high-tech, and it's more expensive than ever before. Also, for the first time in the Philippines, it now comes as a hybrid. Is it still worth your money? Let's find out. Here in the Philippines, the CR-V comes in 3 variants. What we're going to review right now is the top spec RS variant, which is also currently the only hybrid variant of the CR-V in the Philippines. Now, it's easy to tell the RS apart from the other variants, as this is the only variant that comes with body-colored fender moldings. This also gets plenty of blacked out accents, and you get some RS badging as well. Now, the CR-V has grown up quite a lot in terms of dimensions. It is now wider, it's longer, it's also taller, and also in terms of styling. It looks more mature now compared to the previous generation. You get simpler horizontal lines here on the side. It looks more conservative than the previous generation, except here at the front. The CR-V has a pretty aggressive looking front end with plenty of these sharp angles over here. You got a sharp looking chin down here, you got plenty of pointy bits. You get this sharp and aggressive looking brow ridge which goes over the headlamps. By the way, the headlamps are LEDs, they're adaptive, and they're also steering sensitive. Okay, so the CR-V has adaptive steering sensitive headlamps, and let me show you how that works. I'm gonna steer into that corner, and as you can see, it's very dark over there. But if I steer the wheel towards the right, so you can see it gets brighter. Now this feature is very useful when you're on dark, twisty roads, when you're going up Rizal, because it illuminates the path where you're going. The grille is finished in gloss black. You have an RS badge down here, and you have the Honda logo at the center, which also is your radar sensor. And you also have a blue outline around the Honda badge, which signifies that it's a hybrid. By the way, you don't see a lot of hybrid badges on the exterior of the car. You don't see any at the front, none at the sides, and there's only one HEV badge at the back. You get power folding side mirrors with repeaters. They're finished in gloss black, and they also have a camera down here for your 360 camera system. You got a smart locking system. To lock the vehicle, just put your finger here, and to unlock it, just put your hand here. You got a functional roof rail. This comes with 18-inch wheels finished in gloss black. Now, I think 18s look a bit small for the car. I think 19s would definitely fill the wheel wells better. But I like how they're finished in gloss black, so it's not obvious that they're a little small. You get disc brakes on all 4 corners, and also independent suspension in all 4 corners. The CR-V RS is a hybrid, meaning that it runs on both gasoline and electricity. It is not a plug-in hybrid, so you can't charge the battery externally. It automatically charges itself when the engine turns on or when you're slowing down. It has a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which puts out 148 horsepower and 183 Nm of torque. Now, the CR-V's hybrid system is unlike most hybrid systems in the market. It features dual electric motors, but not both motors power the wheels. One is a power generator which charges the batteries exclusively, and the other is a traction motor which sends power to the wheels. The traction motor puts out 180 horsepower and 335 Nm of torque. Now, Honda markets the transmission as an eCVT, but it's actually unlike most CVTs on the market. Now, it's all too technical for one video, but it's supposed to deliver better fuel economy on the highway. This also gets a more powerful electric motor than Toyota's equivalent hybrids. One thing to note is that, unlike the CR-V VX, which is all-wheel drive, The more expensive CR-V RS only sends power to the front wheels. The wide fenders, the wide track, and these aggressive-looking tail lamps give the CR-V a dignified and almost BMW-esque look. So back here, you'll find the only HEV badge throughout the entire car. You get dual chrome exhaust tips down here. Now, they're not 100% fake. They're not 100% real either. They're actually 50% real. And by that, I mean only one of them is functional. The other one is fake. Now the CR-V comes with a power liftgate. Now one important difference between the top spec CR-V RS and the less expensive VX is that the RS is only a 5-seater while the VX is a 7-seater. Now that's a necessary compromise to accommodate the batteries of the RS. There is one good thing about losing the third row seats though, and that is the fact that the RS gets slightly more cargo space. But whichever variant of the CR-V you get, you'll have more than enough space for our sponsor for today. Introducing the Atto Sport Mobility Scooter. The world's most innovative mobility scooter. It folds into a small suitcase size and it has wheels so you can move it around like a trolley. It separates into 2 parts. It has leather seats and grips, an illuminated LCD dashboard, enhanced lighting for extra visibility. You can install optional armrests. It's perfect for seniors as it's easy to lift and unfolds in seconds. It has a maximum speed of 10 kph, shock absorbing flat free tires, high ground clearance, advanced braking system, be free to travel anywhere, land, sea or air. It has 20 kilometers of continuous driving range. Engineered with flair, designed with passion for performance. Be active, be free, be yourself. Atto Sport, moving life. Okay, so we're now inside the Honda CR-V. Like most recent Honda designs, it looks quite minimalist and quite mature looking. You get simple horizontal lines on the dashboard. You don't get the cascading lines of the previous generation CR-V. The dashboard looks very similar to the dashboard of the Civic. Like the Civic, you get this honeycomb grille over the air vents over here. You get this brushed aluminum accent over here and also on the door cards. Now, almost everything is covered in soft touch materials. Like this is soft touch right here. This is soft touch. You get leather wrapped armrests. The seats are leather wrapped with red stitching. Both front seats are power adjustable. The driver's seat has adjustable lumbar support. This also has 2-person memory settings. So what that allows you to do is it allows you to save your settings. So if someone else drives your car and messes with the adjustments, you can just press one button and it automatically adjusts everything to your preferred settings. That's definitely a useful feature if you have more than one driver in your household. The steering wheel is leather wrapped. It tilts, it telescopes. You also have paddle shifters over here, and you got plenty of buttons here for your Honda sensing. You got dual zone climate control, and I like how Honda still gives us a lot of physical knobs and buttons. Like you got physical knobs for adjusting your temperature and also your fan speed. You also get the physical volume knob over here and physical buttons for your infotainment screen. By the way, this is a 9-inch infotainment screen. It has Apple CarPlay, it has Android Auto. You got a 360 camera. It also has a lane watch camera, which I'm not really a fan of since it tends to take over your entire screen, which can be a bother if you're using Waze, especially if you're in an unfamiliar location. But I think you can turn that off somewhere in the settings. You got one USB-A port over here, one USB-C port, one 12-volt outlet. You got a wireless phone charger. You have some space here for another phone. This is for changing your drive modes. You have normal, eco, and sport. You have hill descent control over here. You have an electronic parking brake with auto hold. In terms of storage, you have quite a bit of storage underneath the glove box. I can fit my camera gear in here. You have 2 cup holders with spring-loaded tabs. The glove box is decently sized. It's also dampened. And this is the only variant of the CR-V that comes with a panoramic sunroof. Here at the back, space is more than adequate. I have quite a lot of knee room over here. That's about 6 inches, isang dipa. Headroom is also pretty okay. I have about 3.5 to 4 inches. I have a lot of room here for my feet. By the way, I'm 5'8", and the front seat is adjusted to my height. Now, in terms of toys, you have 2 air vents back here. You don't have any fan speed controls. You have 2 USB-C ports. You have a foldable armrest, which is nicely padded. It also has 2 cup holders over here. I forgot to mention that this has a Bose sound system, which sounds very good. You also have speakers back here. The flooring is relatively flat. You just have a very small hump over here. And this is also the best place to appreciate the panoramic sunroof, since you can see the full length of it. The sunroof doesn't extend all the way to the top of your head. It only ends up to here. But the sunroof cover is completely opaque, so it doesn't let any light through, unlike a lot of Chinese crossovers.
Now, one of the main reasons for buying the CR-V RS is its fuel economy. So we're going to do a proper fuel consumption test. We're going to do the full tank method, and we're going to drive it somewhere to answer a popular question among Filipino viewers. Kaya ba ng CR-V mag-Baguio? So I filled up the tank and set off to the summer capital of the Philippines.
See the light of the stars. Hear the sound of the unseen in the empty fall. In the silence, listen. May it lift your heart and move your feet to run again. May you wander far.
The trip going to Baguio was a very relaxing experience. The CR-V's ride is very plush. It's quiet inside the cabin. The seats are very comfortable. The adjustable lumbar support and the adjustable thigh support are a godsend. And having Honda sensing made the trip a lot less taxing than it would have otherwise been.
The Honda CR-V comes with Honda sensing, which includes adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. So right now my feet are not doing anything. I'm not stepping on the brakes, I'm not stepping on the gas. The vehicle is automatically maintaining my speed. It should automatically slow down if there's an obstacle in front of me, and it should automatically go back to my preferred speed once the obstacle gets cleared. This also has lane keep assist, but it only works above 70 kph, so it's not usable on the city, only on the highway. So there's a bit of a curve on the road right now. Let's see how accurate this is. So you can see it's automatically following the curve without me doing anything. As long as you don't go below 70 kph, it should follow this curve. So far it's pretty accurate. So it's not really meant to be used as autopilot. It's called driver assist for a reason. Also, it promotes good driving habits, because if you don't use your turn signals when you want to change lanes, it tends to resist your input like that. But if I use my turn signal, like if I signal right, there is no resistance.
Having adaptive cruise control is very helpful in stop-and-go city traffic, but coupled with lane keep assist, it is an absolute blessing on very long road trips such as this one. It just sucks that the lane keep assist of the CR-V only works above 70 kph, but above 70 kph, it is very, very accurate. So much so that I felt like a passenger in the driver's seat. Now, this is a 4-hour trip to Baguio, and I wanted a realistic fuel economy reading, so I didn't try to hypermile too much, and I didn't try to drive very aggressively either. I set the adaptive cruise to 90 to 100 kph. The aircon was turned on the entire time, and I didn't try to aggressively overtake either.
Okay, so we've done 91 kilometers now. We're now at a gas station. We'll see how much fuel we actually consumed.
Full tank, sir.
Automatic lang kuya. Automatic. .9 liters. Okay, so we traveled 91.3 kilometers. Calculator. 91.3 kilometers divided by 3.9 liters is, so I did an average of 23.4 kpl. Not bad for a crossover of the size. I was expecting it to do a bit better, but there was also a bit of traffic earlier in the trip, so I guess this is okay.
Now, as for my city fuel economy, I was able to get 19 kpl in moderate city traffic, which is very impressive. The CR-V is one of the most well-rounded crossovers that I've driven recently. It does a lot of things really well. Ride quality is excellent. It's not really a sport crossover, but it doesn't feel boaty in the corners either. On the twisties of Cannon Road, the vehicle felt planted and it didn't feel like it was out of its element. The steering feels relatively sharp, communicative, and it also feels well weighted. The hybrid system has more than enough power to quickly overtake at highway speeds and when going up the steep roads of Baguio. And even when you're driving it hard, the fuel economy remarkably never goes below 15 kpl. It feels like it's part automobile and part Swiss Army knife. It just is a jack of all trades. I got to Baguio with 8 bars of fuel remaining, out of a total of 10. Now, even if you consider the 3.9 liters of fuel that I added, it's still very little fuel for the 260 kilometer trip. Needless to say, it didn't guzzle fuel, it barely took a sip. And with its 57 liter fuel tank, a range of 900 to 1000 kilometers is very reachable. For those used to our tropical climate, Baguio's temperate weather feels so foreign. I didn't want to get used to it too much as I still had to go home to scorching Manila, but yeah, I totally get why it's the summer capital of the Philippines. I also get why people usually ask if cars can make it to Baguio, because they do have some very steep roads. Still, most if not all modern cars would be able to make it to Baguio, but some would struggle more than others. The CR-V never did. Also, even when going uphill, it never dipped below 15 kpl, which is very impressive. Going down from Baguio, I averaged 99.99 kpl. I barely consumed any fuel. Now, on the way down, there was a section of Cannon Road that was unpassable, so I had to take an unplanned detour which took us a bit off-roading. While I'm a sedan guy, having unplanned off-road expeditions like this make me appreciate being in a higher vehicle like the CR-V. The biggest drawback to the CR-V RS is its price. It sells for 2,590,000 pesos. That is 310,000 pesos more expensive than the CR-V VX. It's an upgrade in some areas, but also a downgrade in some ways. Like you lose the third row seats on the RS, and you lose four-wheel drive capability. But you also gain a panoramic sunroof, more cargo space, and of course you get the hybrid system, which means better fuel economy and number coding exception. At its price, the CR-V RS has a lot of stiff competition. It's not as engaging to drive as the CX-5 all-wheel drive turbo. Its interior doesn't feel as special as the Peugeot 5008 or the CX-8, but it doesn't really lag too far behind either. What it offers is a very well-rounded package that may not excel in any particular thing, but does a lot of things really well and doesn't do badly in any particular area. It's a jack of all trades that wins by overall points. If you're looking to just have one family car, you're okay with 5 seats, and you don't mind the 2.59 million peso price tag, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend the CR-V RS.